Alright, we're back for part 2 of the Garden of Terror walkthrough. Going to go ahead and change to a custom, and the reason we're using custom games is here. One is we're going to basically be talking about how the game works. We're not really going to be playing it all that at a high level, you know. It's more on focusing on the actual specifics of the map. And two, with custom, unlike the other modes, you can actually choose the map. So, hey, look, Garden of Terror, the first one. I actually didn't choose it because it was the first one here, but it's funny how that works out. So, do that, you confirm. We'll drop into a lobby, and we'll actually, let's just fill this with AI. We're not going to get anything too fancy, and so we've got a bunch of AI here. And you'll be able to see them fighting it throughout the match. And now we click ready, and then, let's make sure we got the piggy bank. When we click start, we'll jump into the game. Captain America Rainer here. Save the day. And you can see when you spawn in, after the countdown's over, you'll see which map you're on, and it'll tell you those same little bits about the objectives that we talked about in part 1. Okay, so we're on the left side. We're on the blue team. And this is Rainer. I'm not going to talk about... I'll do a guide on Rainer eventually. We're not going to talk about it too much. I think I'm going to show off Bribe here. Just because I did talk about that in part 1, and so we'll show that off a little bit. I'm going to go ahead down here to... what do we want to do? Maybe we'll go mid lane. You can see we've got 4 heroes. Actually get an Abathur. I don't think I've had an Abathur in an AI battle before. Quite interesting. And nobody's going to go bottom lane, but, you know, such is the life. Alright. The gates open up after that 30-second countdown. You can hear a different announcer's voice for this map that's different for each map. Try and keep the game sounds up pretty high, and I'm dropping coins everywhere as I walk out. And so these are the bushes you can hide in. And you can see there's like another area down here that I was talking about in part 1 where you can gank the enemy team. And of course, if I'm in the middle of the lane and I come down here, you can see that distance is so short. That was 4 seconds to get from one point to the other mounted. So we'll go ahead, turn those game sounds back down, and play a little bit. Now, the early part of any match is going to be the laning phase. You know, pre-10, you want to make sure you're soaking all 3 lanes. And for instance, we are not soaking bottom lane, so I'm going to make that switch. Go down here and try and soak up the bottom lane. You can see we're about even in XP still, but they do have actually a slight lead. But we get down in here in time to get most of this wave. And you can see Azmodan's pushing the lane back with his minions. And so, I should probably be careful as he gets his laser out. I got to be careful if I talk too much. I'm going to take death here. One thing to note about mercenary camps is they'll spawn at 40 minutes into the match, with the exception of the boss, the large mercenary camp. There's not one of those on this match, but they do spawn at 40, and the boss spawns at 3 minutes. And you can see the countdown here was I believe a 30-second countdown. So the first night will start at 1 minute and 30 seconds into the game. You get a 30-second countdown for that. I think he's going to try and kill me. He might actually get the kill here. I better back up. My passive's down. And so with that, we'll come up here. Actually, we'll tap the fountain first to heal up a little bit. You can see there are the knights and the terrors, the horrors. Oh, they're stealing mine. What are they doing? I think they can steal my seeds. And I think I'm going to take a death here. So you can see how the enemy AI actually stole the seeds from us. They're up to 18 now and doing quite well with those. And that's actually a tactic you can use. We've got Lily and ETC up here getting some seeds as well. Level 4 is up. Go with the increased range. I'm going to come down here and try and get some seeds from this. They might actually... Oh, it looks like they're on a big one. On the large one. There goes Azmodan. I'm going to let him go. And pick up that little bubble. Now, soloing one of the large terrors is actually kind of hard, kind of difficult this early. But I am going to come up here and help my team take the top. See, I get knocked off there. I was not paying attention. They actually are taking this now, and you can see he's got like a stun when he does that little animation. That's a stun. You don't want to get caught in the radius or you will be stunned. He can also root you, and you want to move out of that. Otherwise, you'll get rooted, and you won't be able to move, and then you're kind of bait for the enemy team. And so we're going to focus him down. You do get XP for this. I'm going to knock this guy away before he tries to steal our seeds. And some of the seeds drop as you're battling the terror, or the horror rather, and then a large dose of them drop once you've killed the horror. And so we're at 80. We could actually go down to the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we can actually come down here and steal some seeds from this large horror. Gotta be careful where I am pathing. And we'll steal more from this. We'll actually be able to get a terror within, I think within, oh, I gotta not miss my cues here. But we should be able to get one here. Oh no, I'm gonna get stunned. You'll actually see it. And see, I am stunned there. And I'm in a little bit of, oh my gosh, I'm in a vulnerable spot here. What am I doing? Oh, we get a kill. Alright, somehow, through all of those missed cues. We should probably kill Zeratul first. And we're going to try and get the enemy team to back off here. Kills aren't as important as getting the seeds at this point. As Tassadar tries to come in and steal some, and you can see it takes, what was that, about 15 seconds to spawn. I'm actually going to go back and pick up the terror to actually show it off. Enemy minion waves spawn in there every 30 seconds. And so you right click on this, the fertile soil, to control it. And there's a short channeling time. I believe it's about 4 seconds. And then all of a sudden, look, Raynor is gone, and I've got a new health bar with actually some mana here. I don't think I've actually used up all of the mana. No, I don't think he uses mana, but you've got 3 abilities. The Spore Queen's Curse, which is your Q. You throw this down, and watch, Azmodan's going to turn into a little flower. And he can't do anything, and that's the W. And this is great for throwing on enemy buildings, but also it kills the minions, and it does damage to enemy heroes. And I'm going to spawn, or throw the Q down again. It's very hard to escape from that Q. And E is the talent. We haven't used it yet. We're going to save it. We're going to actually throw a W down here just to get the fort and the towers for max damage. You can actually destroy that little, the Garden Terror Overgrowth. And you want to destroy that if you're playing against the Terror. And so the idea is what you actually do. I'm going to get the gate down here, right? And I'm going to come up and show you how to use this. If I throw this down behind me and I kind of stand like in front of it, it's very hard for the enemy team to kill this. And it gets to do the full extent of its damage. And then I can throw the Q down there to catch Azmodan and kind of just wail away on this fort. I'm doing a ton of damage. And actually, if I take a swipe at Azmodan, you can see how much damage I'm doing. And then I'm throwing the Q down on him, and he can't escape. And you got to make sure to throw the W down. There's only one hero here, so I'm not... Actually, there's 2. I didn't see Zeratul. And watch out for that from Azmodan. Backing up. You really want to get the full life out of it. And the timer was up there. So the Terror actually... Even though I still had health left, it did disappear. You only get it for a limited amount of time. And now what I want to do is show off something I don't usually do with Raynor. But I'm going to show off that bribe mechanic we talked about. You can see I've got enough stacks. I have 49. You need 50. And then I bribe them like that. And... all of a sudden, I've stolen the enemy team's siege shines. Look at that. Bribe's a really strong talent. And I'm taking tower shots there. You could hear that little beep. And, you know, it didn't sound like me at all, but there was a beep there. And it actually does a ton of damage to you. So you don't, you know, early in the game, you don't want to be taking too many tower shots. Chen's going to be trying to jump me. I've got a Q. I'm going to save the Q. And trying to protect the siege giants a little bit. ETC goes out and let them do their work, taking the heroic here on level 10. And then after a short time, after the terror falls, you get another 30-second window here. And you can see they're at 71, so we have to be careful or the enemy team's going to get a terror as well. And we're kind of keeping pressure on here. I wouldn't really necessarily do this in a live match. It might have been better to fall back and get camps. Just wanted to kind of talk about everything that goes on. And so what we'll do is night's coming up. I'm actually going to come down here. Should have gone right here, and I'm going to steal the enemy team's horrors, the small camp. You can see I'm at 1 bribe sack again. I need another 17 kills to get the another one, and I'll be able to steal their giants again. And if you have 2 people with bribe, 2 heroes with bribe, you can actually steal a knight's camp pretty quickly. Oh, Lily's attacking this. And so I think they're going to get a horror, actually, a terror rather, because they are killing the top horror. And if we wanted to, we probably could have fought these guys to prevent that. But this way you actually get to see what happens when you oh, he escaped. Alright, So you actually get to see what it's like to fight against one as well as with one. And both teams are growing them. There's that window, remember, where there's a delay. And what I would do, I don't have the stacks, but normally we'd actually want to... Something we didn't talk about too much is once you pull a terror, the merc camps on the map disappear as long as a terror is up. So the idea is you want to go and start attacking a camp before you pull the terror. And then, as long as you've aggroed the camp, the mercs will remain until you either leave them alone and they disappear completely, or you capture the camp and have it fight for you. So they pulled a terror. I'm going to pull a terror, and I'm going to go counter fight here. It looks like it's going to push top lane. And you can see this is still on the map because they were attacking it. Now, they didn't cap it. So whoever was taking this camp chose to back off and not continue to take the merc camp, but it was still present on the map. And you can actually look for that to see what an enemy team is doing. And so let's go ahead and just Q this, or attack this, not Q. Throwing this down, it's a little bit out of range, and you can't turn enemy terrors into flowers. He's trying to do it, but you can't actually do that. And so, you know, they used to be able to do that, but they did patch that out. And right now we're just kind of wailing away on each other. It's kind of funny. Drop a little Q here to get him stuck in the Spore Queen's Curse. And then I'm going to wait for the W. I don't want to tank the tower. You can see I've got 40 seconds left on the Garden Terror here. I'm going to let the minions tank it. I'm going to come in, and then I'm actually going to just wail away on this. I want to save the W for a second. I could have gotten 3 Ws, but I wanted to put it behind me, and then I'm going to throw the Q down. Chen's going to run out of it. So you don't always catch them if they are in the queue. There's like a short timer. You have to turn into plant zombies. That's what it's called, plant zombies, for 3 seconds. And they have their move speeds load by 30 seconds when you throw down the Spore Queen's Curse. And now we've got one more W. Oh, I'm not going to be able to use it. Nope. Alright. So if I was paying a little more attention smarter there, I probably could have gotten 2 extra Ws up versus what I did do, but you do want to be cognizant when the terror is going to fall down. Get as many Ws off as you can, do as much damage. And then remember that you're back in your hero form afterwards, so you do want to, you know, get out of dodge. You could be trapped by the enemy team, for example, and just have a bad day. So let's go down here. Oh, who did I find? We're actually going to be able to 1v1 him. I do have my passive up. He can't even escape. And I'm going to steal the camp. That's going to push mid lane, so I'm going to come down here and gank these guys from behind. Oh my goodness. Be helpful if I could actually hit him with the Q. Alright, there we go. So, night's coming back up again. There'll be another night cycle. And that's the basic idea of this, is that you go back and forth between day and night. And you want to make sure you get the siege when you can and prevent the enemy from getting a terror when possible. And I'm actually tanking the terror here. I mean the tower. I could actually back up and let the siege giants do that. And then right now, ideally you'd fall back and get siege because it is night. We actually have Vala going for some up here as well. I'm going to go to this side. And, oh, it looks like Tychus is here stealing. Oh my, he's got company. How many Qs have I missed? Alright. Oh, there's another Q missed. I think I've missed almost every, like I've hit 1 Q all game. Alright. And so, you can see they're at 54. Lily's getting that camp down there. I have to be careful I don't get stunned. I'm actually out of range usually as they, you know, as Raynor. With the advanced optics, he'll be out of range of the stun, which is nice. It's gonna burn these there. I hit a Q that time. Alright. Lily's getting the bottom. We can actually prevent them from getting one. And you'll see how useful that is. You can actually then go back now. I could go back, summon the terror, and then come down here and attack this terror to get more seeds and get further ahead. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then head down there. Alright, and I'm now going to use the sprint. Unfortunately, Lily did not make it. I do believe... they will have enough, I think, if they kill the Terror. Let's see. It's going to be, yeah, I think they'll have enough. Actually, yeah, so they're going to get one now. Couldn't make it here in time, but we can maybe catch somebody on the way out. Take some swipes at Tychus. Turn him into a plant again, a plant zombie. And now I want to be careful here because I don't have a W and I don't have any minions to tank the tower. So, it looks like our lane actually got pushed back pretty far. I'm just going to let that wave pass and then come back in here for a fort. These guys are really good at destroying buildings. You can see this Terror is actually defending top lane for some reason. But, yeah, that's basically how the map works. The idea, you know, you get these Terrors, you do have a limited lifespan. For, you know, it only lasts for so long and it only has so much health. So you really want to be careful how you use it. I'm taking a little bit of damage here. I didn't really need to. Now, I don't think the Q will actually do anything to the minions. That little sound was me getting enough for a bribe stack. But yeah, the W does do damage. It deals 308 damage per second at this. We're at level 16 to structures and rapidly kills minions. You can, and also disables all structures. So that's really really useful. We'll go with one more W. Just gonna go ahead and drop it inside to get damage on all of the buildings there. The fountain, the 3 towers, the gate, the walls. And you can see it actually at this level destroyed the the walls completely. It does a ton of damage. And micro away a little bit. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Late game, the Terror does an insane amount of damage. It does a lot of damage throughout the entire game, but late game it'll actually do a ton of damage in team fights, and you have to be very cognizant of that fact. They still have a Terror up, so there's no merc camp there to bribe. And he took a fort down, but he's got, what, 12 seconds left? And yeah, so that's the basic idea. That's how the map works. Talked about the basic mechanics. Tried to show off some of the gameplay here. A little haphazard. But I'm probably going to get sniped off the horse. I don't think I'm going to be able to catch him. He's running. He's running for it. Alright. And so yeah, be cognizant of when the enemy Terror does fall out, or when it dies. And, you know, you can get a kill on whoever was inside. Sometimes you'll be playing against an Abathur, and the Abathur will pull the Terror out. And then all of a sudden, you know, the Terror dies and Abathur's in the middle of the map and you just gotta burrow out. Oh, the blink! The blinks! Oh, terrible Rainer play, I tell you. Alright, we're still short, right? 3 stacks. Alright. So I'll probably finish this up just to end the game. But I think I'm going to cut the recording short. You get the basic idea. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the chat. Let me know. You know, and I'm going to do more of these. As I said, this is kind of a beginner one. And then we'll talk more about the strategy for specific maps. Probably look at the actual, like some replays. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, wow, wow. That was close. And I died to a minion. No! My bribe stack didn't go off. There's a short delay on bribing. You have to be very careful with that. And so I just bribed one mercenary and the other one's still there. Maybe Vala will go finish the... Looks like she's going to finish the job. Nice. Alright. The Vala bot saves the day. Alright, so that'll do it for this video. I need to talk less, play more. But yeah, I wanted to show off how the maps work, the objectives, and we'll do one for each map and break down some replays after that to get more advanced on tactics and things like that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm out.